Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Treble and today I'm going to be doing a review of One Punch Man chapter 208. So this chapter is well, it's pretty interesting. It's not as interesting as 207 where we learned about the power of darkness from Blast. But yeah, it's a pretty entertaining chapter. We get a little bit of fighting in it. We get a little bit of exchange between Blast and Empty Void. But yeah, generally speaking, there's no substantial development in this chapter. It's just we get a quick exchange, and but I would say that the ending is pretty. It's a pretty big cliffhanger. So maybe I'm really curious to see where it goes next chapter, what happens next chapter. But yeah, generally speaking, it's a good chapter. There's nothing really good or bad to say about it. It's pretty entertaining for One Punch Man chapter. Yeah, but let's just jump right on in. So we open up and spoiler alert going in. Just to say, we open up and we go in and we get the cover page. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna diverge for a second here. It's the cover page of Tatsumaki, and I know this I know this might be perverted or whatever, but it's like, is she really wearing? It's very difficult to tell, right? The way they draw her, it's very difficult to tell. But anyway, let's just jump right in the chapter. You could go check out the cover page if you want to see. Um, yeah, so the chapter opens up exactly where we left off in the last chapter, with Empty Void sending out a dimensional slash and Void protecting Blast and Flash and Sonic. Void protects Blast protects Woods and Sonic asks, what was that, if the dimensional slash was a genjutsu, and Flash explains that the ninja village that they grew up in was just a cover for creating monsters. And then we see Blast. Blast explains to us that Empty Void is fully healed. No, he's actually, and right before he finishes says that what he's about to say, Empty Void comes back in and and delivers a drop kick into Blast's abdomen, sending him flying. And then we see something interesting, which is that Empty Void evolved. He has that same Garo thing going on, but unlike Garo, where it's just like his frontal face, it seems to be like all of his head seems to take on that similar thing with Garo. And then he goes on to explain that I had a feeling something was off ever since I absorbed that avatar's power. And he also calls Garo an avatar. So yeah, and it seems like he was a failed creation, granted power by God while secretly holding a dark nature that defies it. So essentially what they're saying here is that Garo was given power, but Garo also has like a nature. This also goes back into the Blast's power of darkness going against the power of God, which is light. So, and that's a connection I'm making here, that Garo had this dark connection that also defied the power of God. So the awakened Garo that we saw wasn't the real Garo. That wasn't even at full power. And remember, Garo just literally just slapped his hand. Garo just slapped God's hand. What if he had actually? This is insane. Like this. This is insane, right? Garo literally just slapped God's hand, and you're telling me that he wasn't even using the full power, the full extent of that power? What if he had actually taken God's hand? That's insane. And then, but Empty Void explains that Garo had that dark thing, and it was very perverse. Then we get we get a panel of Garo smirking, doing that little hunter smirk, childish smirk that he does. And Empty Void explains that he has surpassed the Blast's dark power of darkness can't affect him, because the rage he feels and the hatred for Blast prevents his rage and his hatred prevents Blast's power of darkness from affecting him. And then Blast goes in And then the fight starts in earnest from here. Blast comes in, he warps in with a kick. Empty Void does a ninjutsu technique called Spiraling Wind Blade. But Blast warps away, he comes in, he does a punch, and then, he keeps doing that. He keeps attacking Empty Void from his blind spot. And this is, like I said, it's pretty fun. We haven't seen this kind of action in One Punch Man for a while, for a very long while. But then the thing comes in is that Blast basically punches Empty Void in the back. Empty Void quickly recovers from that and cuts off Blast's hand. And then, because remember, Blast needs to form a fist in order to warp, and so Empty Void cuts off his hand. And he mocks Blast. He's like, is that all you got? You just keep doing the same one trick, attacking my blind spot, and you're S-class rank 1, right? You're pretty pathetic. And then Blast comes back. Blast hits him back. Empty Void. He hits back at Empty Void, saying that Empty Void, you've gone soft. The brainwashing of God was wearing off. Because if it was you that I fought 15 years ago, you would have cut my head off immediately. The brainwashing of God is wearing off. This is interesting. I don't know what this means. This obviously this arc has already diverged pretty far from the manga, from the webcomic. So in the webcomic, if you didn't know, like, Saitama off-screened Empty Void. None of this happened in the webcomic. None of it whatsoever. All of this is new development. The only thing in the webcomic was that Empty Void fought Blast, and then he recovered from it, and Saitama off-screened it. So I'm wondering if they're gonna actually save Empty Void, if he's gonna be like the first to be saved, to be demonstrified or rehumanized. I'm not really sure. But he says that's what he says, and then we get a little bit small panel of Empty Void, and then he just showers Blast with slashes, right? And that's the final panel of the chapter. That's where the chapter ends. We see Blast getting slashed up or cut up by Empty Void. And like I said, this is interesting because now I'm thinking, like, how is this gonna end? Like, is Empty Void? Are they going to save Empty Void? I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Like, I don't even know how to make any speculation at this point of what's gonna happen, because, like, I don't know. So we'll see you in 209 for that. This is 2 weeks from now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the chapter. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.